everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this lunch hour so long with Kimberbell. Of course, we are featuring spring showers part 2 this week. My name is Kim. Of course, I'm here with Andrew, the film guy, behind the scenes guy, and Shay, who can also help answer your questions. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Bravo, Andrew. Bravo! He made that cute little introduction. And now I feel so official. Andrew, thank you. All right, welcome to part 2, like I said, of the Spring Shower So Long. Of course, we are coming to you every Wednesday during the month of March. And if you missed last Wednesday, no problem. You can always find it on YouTube or our Facebook channel. And of course, while you're at YouTube, we'd love for you to like and subscribe to our channel there, because then you will never miss an episode of one of these Lunch Hour So Longs. All right, so check that out. Now, let's talk about what we did last week. Tell me, chime in, and let me know if you are on track. Can I let you in on a little secret? I'm not. I have not finished all the blocks that I was planning to do this week. That's okay. We got plenty of time. I'm hoping to be done by the end of March. I didn't say what year it was, right? All right, so last week I showed you how to do background quilting using Kimberbell's block by block method for doing your background quilting, then how to add your design on top of that background quilting, and we actually worked on the sentiment blocks and the flower pot blocks. So let me give you a quick rundown of which ones we did. We talked about this here, let's weather it together. And then we actually did this one in the So Long. Sometimes a good puddle is all you need. I love that. And if you did that one, did you absolutely love how that puddle was made? So, so cute. It had the mylar and the blue vinyl on top. Really darling. And then we also, I gave you the challenge to also finish this sentiment block, which of course says no rain, no flowers. Then we talked about how to move your designs down so that it looks like it is resting on that patch of grass that's right there. So that's another thing we discussed last week. And of course, again, if you missed it, it's never too late to check in and see that video again. These things are always recorded. That is good news, right? So no worries on that. So as I mentioned last week with sometimes a good puddle is all you need, or let's weather it together, any of the sentiment blocks, we talked about how you want to take your background quilting like this. Whoop. These were the raindrops, right? And then, so this is just a printout so that you can see better what I'm referring to. So this was the background quilting. And then on top of that, we've got to add, sometimes a good puddle is all you need, right? And the question came, how do you do that? We talked about 3 different ways that you could do that, but I'm really excited to let you know about something that is found in a couple different places. I want you, if you have your book in front of you, I want you to open up your book to page 12. Open up your book to page 12. All right, here's the first thing I want to talk about. Of course, on the second column on page 12, you see where it says block by block quilting. And so there we describe, in pictures how that is done. But I also made a video, and I would love for you to see it. So did you notice, Andrew, let's get an up close of this. Did you notice a little funky looking box right here? Have you ever seen one of those? Maybe you've seen them and never tried them out or wondered, oh, I'm not sure how those are used. Let me show you real quick how to use this, what we call a QR code. All right. So a QR code is just this way of us being able to take our cameras, just our phones, right? And you don't have to have any special app. You don't have to download anything special to your phone to be able to view this. It really is this simple. So I'm going to do it on my phone, and I want everyone out there to do the same, all right? We're all going to do this together, because you won't believe what ends up popping up on your screen once you do that. So Andrew, let's go ahead and do an overhead here so they can see what I'm scanning, right? Okay, so if this is the QR code, all I'm going to do is open up the camera on my phone, all right? That's all I'm going to do. And I don't take a picture of it. I just literally hover over it until all of a sudden I see, do you see this, Andrew? Okay, can we get any closer on that? Okay, we're going to get a little bit closer, right? There we go. There's the QR code. And you just hover over it until up on my screen is going to show at the very top. It says website QR code, openkimberbell.com. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and voila, you're going to see a page that takes you to information about the Spring Showers quilt. I want you to scroll all the way down through some of those really fun videos here, okay? And see how this one at the bottom is titled Learn How to Do Block by Block Quilting. That's what you're going to click on, and boom, you're going to see visually through a video, there I am, guys, in full color. There I am. So I'm going to show you how to do block by block quilting. What I want you to think about is, as you do any Kimberbell project now and in the future, you always are going to have access to a library full of tutorials and helpful videos. And this is just one of the many that we provide. So use those QR codes. We use them a lot in the clear blue tiles packaging because we know people learn differently. We explain it as well as we can through instruction and through photos, step-by-step photos. But I know we also learn through video, right? So, you know, have a balance of both of them. Use all of it to your advantage, all right? So anytime you want to do block by block quilting, just scan that QR code or go to kimberbell.com or our YouTube channel, and you will find those tutorials, all right? So that's the first thing I wanted to just quickly mention. Because there's that QR code, and because we talked about this last Monday or Wednesday, sorry about that, last Wednesday, I'm not going to go over again how to do block by block quilting. I'm just going to do it. And as I do it, I think you'll be able to catch on going, oh yeah, I remember that in the video. I remember that from last week. All right. So that's really cool. Now, here's an example of a block that we did last week where you actually needed a larger size hoop to do the background quilting. Now, all of our blocks on this quilt can be done in a 5x7 hoop. The issue comes when you have to do background quilting and it's larger. Let me pull this out here. It's larger than your 5x7 hoop can handle. There's good news for you, my friends. You can do this with a method that we use. This is a unique situation where we would take a single block like this, or maybe some of the ones we'll be talking about today. You don't have a hoop large enough, maybe 5x7 is your capacity, and you're wondering, well, how can I do background quilting with this smaller hoop? You can use clear blue tiles to do that. And we just uploaded a video on YouTube. So head on over to YouTube to find it. We just uploaded it like today. Okay, so you'll find it there. But what I show you is how to use the process of clear blue tiles to do background quilting with an overall design. Okay, it's got to be an overall design. On a larger block. So that's also really good news for those of you who have smaller hoops, right? So check that out. The name of that, let me find it. I wrote it down here.
You can put the link up there.
Oh, and Andrew can put the link up. Of course he can. Thank you, Andrew. Okay. It's called, oh boy, take a screenshot of that, would you? Dawn says she's already watched both of them. Oh, that's fantastic, Dawn. I hope that helps. Okay, so hopefully Andrew's link of gibberish worked for you. But what you're going to find, it's titled How to Embroider Blocks with Background Quilting When You Have a Small Hoop. It's a mouthful, but it all had to be said. You got a small hoop, you got a bigger background block to quilt, you can do it with clear blue tiles. All right, so check out both of those videos. I want to refer them to you so that, again, at any given time, we can just keep moving along in the sew along, but the background quilting helps, extra helps, will be on our YouTube channel. All right, okay, now, are you ready for what we're doing today? If you watched or have seen the infographic, you want to pull that up, Andrew? Mm-hmm. This is a timeline for our sew along. As you can see, we've already done week 1, and today we're on week 2, and that's where we're going to be talking about doing the applique blocks for the boots and the umbrellas. And the reason why I separated that is because I wanted you to be able to show you how to do the iron-on vinyl. Let's go ahead and go back. Today I'm going to show you how to do the iron-on vinyl. It really is so easy. And doesn't it give it the cutest look, the cutest slickery look to those umbrellas? Let's take an up-close shot here. Oh my goodness, you're going to love it. Okay, I love this. It is, here we go. Look at those slickery umbrellas. I absolutely love the look of iron-on vinyl for that reason. This is different than regular Kimberbell vinyl. This is an iron-on. And then I'm also going to show you how to do it using one of these boot blocks and how to do the buckles. All right, so are you ready? Of course, these are basic applique blocks as well. So besides the iron-on vinyl, you're going to do basic applique, and therefore your homework assignment this week before next week is to do a couple of more applique blocks. Try out the umbrellas, try out the boots, maybe try out the birdhouses. That would be super fun to do this week, or even the mushrooms and the butterfly. So any of your applique blocks, give it a whirl. Try it out. All right. So where are we starting today? Well, let's go to our book. We're going to start with the boots, and I'm actually going to do the one with the straps, okay, the buckle straps. So turn to page 52. 52, okay. You're not going to believe how simple this is to make. If you want to feel really good and have a nice little check off your list today, go ahead and do this page. Let's go ahead and go to the front. I actually already did it because it literally took like 30 seconds. I'm not kidding. So I wanted to do it quickly so that this could dry. I can rinse it and make it dry. Let's do an up close here. So that by the time I'm ready to put it on my boot, it'll be dry. Okay, so these are the little buckle straps. It literally takes, you just do it in a 4x4 hoop, and I hooped some wash away stabilizer. Okay, and then I placed just a small piece of our buttermilk felt on top. And well, I should mention it does stitch an outline so you know where to place your felt. Then you place your felt, and then it does these boot buckle straps. Super simple, right? Okay, so that's where we're at on page 52. So now that that is done, I'm not kidding when I say 30 seconds, maybe a minute. No, not even a minute. It's 30 seconds. I'm going to cut just barely outside of that stitch line. Can we get an up close of that one as well?
You know, the overhead?
Sure. Whichever you think. Let's see. Ah, there we go. I like that. Okay, so I am literally just cutting, I don't know, maybe an 1/8 or a 16th really outside of that stitch line. What's fun about that line is that it just looks like a top stitched buckle, right? Or a buckle strap, I should say. And oh, it's going to be cute on your final quilt. Okay, so I did that. Now, because it is wash away, let me quickly cut this one out. I didn't have to remove the stabilizer myself. Instead, I'm going to actually put it in a bowl full of cool water. So let me pull this up here. Whoop, there's my water. I want this stabilizer to literally wash away, right? So I'm just going to place it in there. With Kimberbell's Wash Away Stabilizer, it just takes, less than 30 seconds probably to also do that. But I'm just going to let it sit there for a minute. You can also run it under cool water, just under a sink. And what I'd like to do is kind of just give it just a gentle rub there, and pretty soon all that stabilizer is washed away. Okay, I can feel already it's gone. Bye-bye. Never to be seen again. Love it. Okay, so I washed that away. I'm going to just squeeze out the extra water there and then just lay it flat to dry while we do the rest of our boot. Simple, all right? Simple, but oh my goodness, the cuteness overload. Am I right? Yeah, you can have a simple little, pair of rain boots, or you could have really cute Kimberbell rain boots with buckles on them. I mean, why not, right? Now, a few things I also want to mention about this particular block is that you're going to be using three different items from your embellishment kit, okay? Now, this is an optional embellishment kit, but I will tell you, it is worth every penny you will spend on this embellishment kit. This is the Spring Showers kit. It has everything you need for all the extras on this quilt, and there's a whole lot of them. We're talking cork and the felt and the buttons and the buckles and the chunky, I should say chunky. Our Jasmine at Kimberbell coined that phrase. Chunky bees, yes indeed. Chunky bees, you love them, we do too, and they are also in with their friends, the ladybugs and the mushrooms, right? That's all in this kit. The glitter, even safety pins. Some people have asked about what are the curved safety pins for? Well, it is to add your embellishments on. So we try to think of everything with this, and we know that having a chunky bee on there, you may want to remove it every now and then if you're going to spot treat it. So we added the safety pins in there for you. Even the boot straps, so the foam, you name it. Let me go ahead and open up this package, because this is what you're going to be looking for. In the back of it, you're going to see several sheets of the iron-on vinyl. Okay, just looks like that. And let's go ahead and go this way. You will want to go ahead and get this out as you do your rain boots and your umbrellas. Okay, there's several sheets of this in there, so make sure and find them all and then cut them according to the size that we've outlined in the book. You will also have a little mini bag of the buckles for the boots and some, what do we call that? We have a name for it. Some cord. No, it's not cording. Boy, let me think about that. It is the cording. We did call it cording. Okay, cording. You have some cording. And what I want you to do with that cording is cut that into 4 different 3-inch strips. I've already done that here, okay? But yours will come as one long cord. You just want to cut it into 3-inch strips, okay? About 3 inch. It doesn't have to be exact. It can be 2.5 if you want to, somewhere between 2.5 and 3. And then you've got the belt buckles. Boot buckles, I should call them. Whoop, there we go. All right. All right, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and get started with this boot. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to show you that I am loading the background quilting design with the boot on the machine. Don't forget, there's 3 different ways. You can do it in software, you can do it on your machine, or you can just stitch them one at a time. All right? So if you look at page 53, look at page 53 here. Notice where it says, well, first of all, notice that it says note complete buckle straps before starting. Yep, we sure did. We already did with these, right? Or you will by the time you do this block, okay? And then it does have block by block quilting instructions. If you are doing your background quilting in the hoop, then you want to follow these instructions and what I'm about to do, and also what that QR code describes, right? But if you're not doing your background quilting in the hoop, then you just go skip that and go to hooping instructions, all right? And then continue on. Just as a reminder, let's go ahead and go to the front. The background quilting designs are still available. They are found at kimberbell.com. You go to the top of the page where it says products, then click on the link that says background quilting, and there you can find it by the project itself even. You would click on by project, and then spring showers is going to show up. That's where you will find the bundle of background quilting designs. Now, you know, the bundle has all brand new quilting designs for this. But if you are thinking, you know what, I just want to pick up a few here and there, not a problem. We have those available as well as singles. So check it out. I think you're going to want the bundle because it's pretty darn cute. And you can use these designs. I always say this, but I'm going to say it again. You are building your own library of designs so that you can use them on projects far beyond just the spring showers quilt. In fact, those umbrellas, I'm kind of thinking a table topper is coming my way. The bird houses, so many fun things to do with that. There is another one that I was thinking of for a baby quilt. Oh, the butterflies. There's some really cute butterflies that I thought I would use for a baby quilt. So again, think beyond just this quilt. They are still available for instant download. All right, so now on page 53, if you go to block by block quilting and you just move your finger right down here, it says the sample was made using KDQ 074. It's the 4x6 vertical design. Okay, let's do it. The first thing I want to do is hoop my stabilizer. I am going to use our Kimberbell light mesh cutaway stabilizer. Light, when I say light mesh, it's the same as light cutaway. A lot of people ask, what's the difference between the light mesh cutaway and light cutaway? It's the same. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. This one can actually be done, quilting and all, in a 5x7 hoop. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move this book. All right. And there we go. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to my my machine here because I want you to see how I'm finding that background quilting and then how I'm adding the design on top. Okay. So I am going to go to my USB here. Now, if you don't, now why is that not working now? When in doubt, turn it off and start again, right? Okay, while that's loading, let's go ahead and go to the front camera. And I just lost my train of thought. Lovely. What was I going to say, Andrew?
The train has left the station.
The train. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, I'm going to combine one of those boot designs because they're done on 2 separate blocks. I'm going to combine that with the background quilting. Okay. All right, let's try this again. All right, here we go. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If your machine does not show you all the files like I'm showing you right here, can we get any closer on that, Andrew? If your machine does not show them, that's okay. find what you need on your computer first, and then my recommendation would be to download just those files that you want to use, not all of them all at the same time. But for me, I can see on my machine the numbers, and I can go, oh, yep, I want to use KDQ 074 Spring 1. Now it has embroidery files and instructions. I don't need the instructions. I'm just going to do embroidery files. Okay. I want you to notice what you see here. This is exactly what you would see on your machine if you can have a screen like this, but it's what you would also see on your computer when you pull this up. You have two options here. You can do the block by block method, or you can do the clear blue tiles method. Again, let's go to the front. Let me talk real quick about those differences because there is some confusion on that. If you are doing a quilt such as this, where you have a lot of applique on it and you want each block to be done quilted differently, right? What you would do is the block by block method, because that method it has steps in there that eliminates the batting in the seams. That's important because when you go to sew all of this together, you don't want the extra batting in your seams, right? So that's when you would use the block by block method. But the second method is the clear blue tiles method. And if that design is an all over design that just can go anywhere, right? All over the place, swirls, loops, that kind of thing, then you could use the clear blue tiles method when you want to quilt, say, like a wall hanging, and you want, maybe it doesn't have a lot of applique on it, and you want to just background quilt the whole thing through all 3 layers of fabric. With clear blue tiles, you get that look of traditional quilting, okay? So you just have to decide, do I want clear blue tiles method because I want to quilt through all 3 layers, or do I want block by block method because I'm doing a whole bunch of blocks that have appliques on them and then I'm sewing them together at the end? I hope that helps answer that question. I will tell you what I'm going to use. It is the block by block method. Now, will all designs have both methods included? No, only the ones that would work for all over quilting. All right, so let's go here. I am going to choose block by block, again, because I don't want batting in the seams and I want my applique design to sit on top of the quilting. Boom, block by block. Then I'm going to find, this now shows me all the different file types for all the different brands of machines. This particular machine I'm using uses a PES file type, so I'm going to click on that. Look at all of those sizes you're getting. Amazing, right? Oh, this one is so cute. It's the little umbrellas. The great thing about having all these sizes available to you is that they are all the same scale, so that when you use this, especially if you were to do the clear blue tiles method, you would never be able to see where one design started and one design ended. It's just going to look like it flows one into the other. This is going to allow you to do all kinds of fun things with borders, specific blocks, or all over quilting. Okay, so all of that is there for you in the one download. Let me go back real quick to show you what would be in the clear blue tiles folder. Okay, before we did block by block, this is clear blue tiles. PES is what I'm using. Again, do you see all of the designs? They look very similar, don't they? But what's different about this folder is that you don't have the outline around it to prevent batting being in the seams. This is better. This method, the clear blue tiles method, is going to be better for when you want the look of traditional quilting through all 3 layers of fabric. All right, I'm backing up now. You know, new things just take a minute to understand, but once you get it, your world of background quilting and doing this all on your embroidery machine, it's going to explode. You're going to absolutely have so much fun with this. Okay, so as on page 53, it says I need the 4x6 vertical design. So there it is. I'm going to click on my 4x6. It brings it up, as you can see here. And then I'm going to hit set. Okay, your machine might be a little bit different, but similar. Okay, now I could do the background quilting right now all on its own and then later add the design. Instead, I'm going to add it right now. Let's scroll down, move the camera down to my add button. There we go. On this machine, I can hit add, and now I can put a design on top of that background quilting. I mentioned this last week. Most machines will have that add feature. If yours doesn't, you can do it in software or you can just embroider one section at a time. Okay, so now comes up, I can see all the images of the designs that I want, and I am looking for, let's see, which one am I looking for? I'm looking for the boot buckle, okay, or one. So I've got two options because one's a righty and one's a lefty, okay? You need to do both. I've already done a portion of one of them, as you can see here, so that we can skip part of it. But I'm going to choose the next boot, which is this one right here. All right, then I hit set again. So let's go ahead and go down to this. Yep, hit set. And now, do you see what happened? That block, can they see that very well?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I hope.
You hope so.
I'm just speaking for them.
The boot block now sits on top of your background quilting. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so now I'm going to hit embroidery and I am ready to rock and roll. Okay, so what we did is we hooped our stabilizer, our light mesh cutaway stabilizer, and I'm going to stitch the first step, which is a background placement line for my batting. And thanks to Andrew, we now have what we call the hoop cam, and you can see a whole lot better what I'm doing here, which is really cool. Now, also, if you want to have another reference point, of course, you could go to the YouTube video to watch how to do block by block quilting, or you can also look on page 12 and visually follow along there what I'm doing here on the machine. All right, so that did an outline so I would know where to place my batting. And now I can place a piece of our Kimberbell project batting on top. Okay, I cut this oversized, like really oversized. But there is a chart that you can find on the download that will tell you what batting size to cut for this. The most important thing is that you're just cutting it larger than your background area. All right? Cindy is saying she loves the hoop cam. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Cindy. We do too. It makes such a difference, doesn't it? Fossey says the same thing. Great job with the hoop cam. Okay, Judy says, how do you handle the bulk batting in the seams when block by block is used? Judy, the good news is it won't be in your seams. Whoop. Hold on just a minute there. Let me show you why. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go over here to the overhead camera. There we go. Okay, let me show you why that bulk won't be there. Because once you've stitched this tack down line for the batting, you want to remove any of the extra batting that goes beyond it. Okay, so I'm just using our Kimberbell scissors here. I'm using our duckbill applique, scissors and just trimming that up, right up next to the stitch line. Now, like I mentioned, you don't have to have a piece of batting this big, so there's not as much waste. You would actually cut it according to the size that's in the download, and you won't have a whole lot of waste here. I just cut mine bigger. Okay. Now, Judy, to answer your question, the reason why that batting won't be there is because right now what's going to happen is you're going to stitch a tack down line that goes outside of this batting area. It goes a 1/4 inch outside. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, you're welcome, Judy. Yeah, she says, thanks. I've always worried about the bulk batting. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that with the block by block method. Okay, I did this in black so that you could see it better, but it really doesn't matter what color you're going to use here on thread because you won't see it. Okay, Judy, going back to what you had asked, and here's a look at what it looks like. Notice, and I also want to recommend watching the YouTube video that we just posted. The outline for where the fabric is going to go is a 1/4 inch outside of this block. Then I'm going to take my background piece. I've already fused some oh my gosh, our Kimberbell fusible backing on the back of it, and that's going to give it another layer, a real thin layer, but it's going to help prevent puckering, all right? So I fused that on there, it stays, and now I'm just placing this over the placement line, right, for the fabric. Now it's going to do a fabric, what we could call a tack down line. It's also often referred to as a background basting line. Either way, it's the same. It does this, accomplishes the same thing. We're going to do the tack down line. Okay.
Our hoop cam just ran out of battery.
Our overhead cam.
The hoop cam.
Oh, the hoop cam. Oh, that's so sad. The hoop cam, folks, just ran out of battery. Can we all have a moment of silence? We'll figure it out. We'll get back to that. No problem. Okay, I will just show them right up here. We will get that working because it does make a difference, doesn't it? All right. So now we have that tack down line. It is on that outside, the very outside edge. If you could see where my finger is running up along here, if you could feel that, do you notice? Maybe you can see it a little bit with a bump, but there is no batting right there, right? Because we cut it a little bit inside. And then the tack down line makes that where your 1/4 inch is. So when you go to sew these blocks together, it's awesome because there's no batting in your seams. Okay. All right. The next step is to do your quilting, your background quilting. Now, I will tell you that the background quilting that I'm going to do here today, I'm actually going to do it in black, only because I want you to see how cute it is. My other block that I did background quilting with, I did it with white thread. All right. But you can't see it very well on camera, and I really want you to see how cute it is. Oh, well, there you can a little bit. Do you see that? But it's pretty stinking cute. So I'm going to do it in black thread just so that you can see the quilting a lot better, and then we'll go from there. All right. And then I will remake this at home so that my quilting all matches. All right. People are very sad about the hoop cam dying.
Really hot.
It's hot? Oh, darn it. It's been working too hard, right? Okay. I love, let's see what Pamela says. She says, I love the block by block. I'm a long arm quilter also. I use the clear blue tiles in my long arm computer. I just convert to the file that I need. That's cool, Pamela. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Deb says hoop cam is a keeper for sure. Sandy. Hi, Sandy. She says, Kathy Brown and I are sewing together and working on our blocks. I have the first row done and working on the tree branch. I love to hear that, Sandy. Isn't sewing together so much more fun? Hey, let me be your friend. If you don't have friends around you that do this kind of thing, I'm your girl. I'm your hype girl, right? We're sewing this together. So fun. All right, now while that is stitching, the background quilting, I'm going to go ahead and prep. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and prep. Oh, well, it's done. So why? Okay, we're just going to move right along. That went fast. That's how awesome background quilting is, right? Okay, like I said, I just did this in black because I want you to see how stinking cute those umbrellas are. But when I go to do this again at home to match my other boot, I will redo it in white, you know, just because. All right, so we have our background quilting done. Isn't that awesome? The great news about having done this in the hoop before just appliquing is that once your block is done, it's done. And you don't have to take it to a long arm quilter or quilt it yourself afterwards. It's completely done on your embroidery machine, which is super cool. All right, so the next step is, now that we've done the background quilting, I want you to skip to page 53, because now at page 53 is where we go into actually doing the applique portion of this. Okay, well, it starts on 54, but I'm going to do something first on 53. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to prepare my applique fabric with that fun iron-on vinyl. So it says iron the fusible, oh, no, that's the fusible backing to the wrong side of the boot fabric. I would say that's optional. Yes, you could do that, but where this fabric color, I don't think is going to show through this light one. Yeah, I think you would be fine not to use it. So that is a personal preference. I like to use it when on applique fabrics if there's going to be a shadow, but I think this one will be okay. All right, so we're going to turn to page 54 at the top. Now this is where we're going to do our vinyl. Okay, I'm not going to read through the directions. I'm just going to show you what the directions say. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and place this down here and do a little shifting here. I've already cut my vinyl, my iron-on vinyl to the size I need for this applique. All right. And this is really, really easy to do. What you're going to do, let's go ahead and go to overhead. This is my, my applique fabric for the boot. All right. This is the boot. I want it to have the iron-on vinyl so it looks slickery. So I've already pre-cut my piece of iron-on vinyl. Again, this stuff comes in your embellishment kit if you purchase one of those. And what you're going to do is you're just going to peel off the paper from one corner. Okay. And this fabric is, the right side is facing up towards you. Okay, this is the back, this is the front. The right side is facing up. We want this to go on the front. Now there's a very slippery, slickery side, and then there's just a little, what I would say, a tacky side. It's not very sticky. It's more what I would call tacky. You're going to place the tacky down over the top of that applique piece. All right. When you do that, now take your paper that had remained, you know, that you just peeled off, and place that over your iron-on vinyl. Then you're going to press it in place for about 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then move it. Do not do this. Okay. Just press in place for about 8 seconds and then move. What I like to say, the phrase I like to say here is press, don't stress. All right. Just do that for about 8 seconds. Thank you, Pam. She says, I just love all your designs and projects. They are my happy place. That is so kind of you, Pam. Thank you. Okay, so now that that's been pressed, oh my goodness, we did not turn this on. I'm like, boy, it's not even hot. All right, let's try that again, guys. Give me a few seconds. While that heats up, let's chat, shall we? You know me, I mean, because we do this live, we just roll with it with all kinds of things. Broken needles, irons not being plugged in, you name it. Does anyone have any questions while I'm waiting for this iron to heat up? You guys, I have this plugged in the whole time thinking, woohoo, I'm on it, but no. Indy says, how hot is the iron for the vinyl? She has the same iron, but is afraid it's too hot. You know what? I put it on the 3 notches, the hottest. I don't know. I don't know if there's a right or wrong. I just want some heat. Okay. I don't want steam though. So do it with a dry iron. All right. Melissa, thank you. She says, OMG, cracking up. You're the best. Thanks. I think. Thanks, Melissa. Oh, Sandy says, love live video. Yeah. Nancy says, will the vinyl discolor? Oh, where did you go, Nancy? Oh, there you are. Will the vinyl discolor? You know, Nancy, I wish I had a good answer for that. I don't think it will. I've used iron on vinyl for a lot of projects over the years, and I've never seen discoloration, but I couldn't say for sure. I really don't know, but you should be good to go. I don't think you're going to have any discoloring problems. Okay, this is hot now, I think. Yes, this feels a lot better, my friends. Okay, 8 seconds. Da, 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 da. You know, we just rewind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Okay. That feels so much better. I started getting nervous when I was doing that, thinking, gosh, well, that would be why. Okay, I'm not peeling this paper off yet. I'm first going to turn it over. This is the wrong side. I know it kind of looks like, oh no, she did it on the wrong side. No, this is the wrong side of the fabric. You're just seeing through it. And you want to give it on a press for, I don't know, about 4 seconds on the other side. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we're good. Now, I'm going to let this baby cool off for a minute because it is hot, hot, hot. Yeah. And what is revealed is the cutest little slickery piece of applique fabric to put on your boot or your umbrellas, whatever one you're working on. Okay, it's feeling cool now. Now let's hope this works, right? Yeah. Now you peel off the top, and there you have it, my friends. Let's see if we can get a close-up here.
Turn to a makeshift hoop cam.
Oh, a makeshift hoop cam. Andrew's not giving up on the hoop cam, folks. Do you see how shiny that is? Isn't that fun? Oh, I love it. Now you have a new piece of fabric for your applique. All right, so I'm getting all my ducks in a row here. I've got my applique design here. I've got my boot fabric here. I need my strap, my cording. Aha! I've got a 2.5 inch-ish, 3 inch-ish strap here that I'm going to place down here in a minute. And you'll also want Kimberbell's wash away topping. I'll show you why. It does make a difference, and I'll show you why here in just a moment. Okay, so the very first thing it's going to stitch, you know what? I'm going to use a different color thread so that it stands out a little bit more. And because I have black on right now, let me quickly change that so you don't get it mixed up with the umbrella stitching, right? All right. Okay.
So while you're doing that, Kim, there's a question up here.
Okay.
We have a new person to applique and embroidery and machine embroidery.
Yay!
So,
I love newbies.
So I'm going to throw this up here. This is Dana Hartman.
Okay.
She says, I bought my machine in spring shower pattern and embellishments on Saturday. What do you use the fusible backing for?
Dina, that's a great question. What you use it for? Okay, what you're going to do, go back to my video at the beginning where I was talking about placing this background fabric. We like to put fusible backing on the back of your background fabric blocks. And there's a few reasons for it, but the main reason is that it's going to help reduce puckering, okay? Puckering, since you're brand new, maybe you haven't experienced this yet, but the puckering word, the P word, is a bad word for machine embroiderers. Am I right, guys? It's one of those things like, you know, you go to all this work to make your project, and then you see all these puckers because the fabric did not have enough stabilization to it, and you're going to see it around your edges. Now, is it the end of the world? No, of course not. But it does make for a nicer finished product when you have the fusible backing on it. Now, this is an addition to your stabilizer, so you're doing both. Boy, with that fusible backing on your background blocks and the stabilizer of your choice for whatever type of project you're using, you're going to greatly reduce any puckering that might occur. So that's the main reason we use it. We also use it on the back of like applique pieces, like I mentioned with the boot. Some people will do that if you are putting a lighter fabric on top of a darker fabric. Okay, so if my background here was purple and maybe it was purple checks and I was putting this white on top of it, I might see purple checks on that white. If you use fusible backing, it's going to greatly reduce what we call shadowing. So I hope that helps. Great question. And welcome to Machine Embroidery. Yay, we got a newbie. I love that. Hey, and you come to the right place because all these people here, ladies and gentlemen, that watch these videos and are Kimber, what we call Kimber fellas and Bellas and fellas, they've got your back. They want to help you. It's awesome. Great place to be. Okay. Now, we are on page 54, number 1. This is the tiniest little stitch, and that's why I'm doing it in red. And hopefully we can see it. But oh, you got some kind of, oh, it's not the hoop cam, but it is a good angle there. Nice job there, buddy. Okay. There we go. Like I said, tiny, tiny, tiny little stitches. What these are is they tell us where to place our little cording. Okay. All right. Can we get in up close this way?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Or 5. Maybe 8.
You got 1 second, Andrew.
Okay.
One job, 1 second. Okay. Do you see the tiny, tiny, tiny stitches right there? They're in red. Yeah, that's how big they will be. But that is to show you where to place your cording. Okay, so you're going to fold your cording in half. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let's go ahead and go back to this one. I folded it in half. What? There we go. Evenly.
We'll back up.
There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. It really is much easier in person, guys. It's just trying to show and do this all on camera is a little tougher. Okay. It's going to show us where to place the ends of that cording. And what I want you to do is place it approximately, you don't have to get out a ruler, just about 1/2 inch below those little tick marks. Oop, this way. Okay. All right. So let's go to the overhead and see if I can show that a little bit better. Whew. All right. I got my 2 little lines right there, right? I fold this in half. I'm going to take my paper tape ready to go. And I place this about 1/2 inch below that little tick mark. And when I've done that, I'm just going to place paper tape across. Aha. All right. The reason why you place the paper tape is because now it's going to do what we call little tack down stitches so that that little loop doesn't go anywhere. And so now let's place it back onto your machine and do what we call the bootstrap tack down line. All right. Okay, so here we go. We've got the bootstrap tack down line. As long as it catches even a little portion of that, they're long enough that you're going to be just fine. Okay, so mine did not, I must have placed it, I must not have been very careful where I placed it, but that's okay. It still caught it and it's not going to shift. All right, so then this is when you're going to take your wash away topping. Not to be confused with wash away stabilizer, okay? This is our wash away topping. And I'm gonna place a little bit, here, I'll put that there so you can see it. It's a wash away topper. I'm gonna place a little piece of this on top of those straps. Doesn't have to be very big, all right? Okay. Now I'm going to place this over here, over the top, going kind of up there. It can be just a little bit below that. And the reason why we do this is because this is going to become really important here. You don't want your foot of your machine to get caught when it goes across. That's no good, okay? No bueno. So it's going to go across those straps to do the boot outline, and having this wash away topper is going to help it just glide over the top instead of getting stuck. As you can imagine, you don't want that to happen. All right, so we've done that. Now it's time to do our placement line for the boot. Again, I'm going to keep this all in red just so that you can see it better. But any color at this point is going to be just fine because it's not going to show in the end product. See how that just glided over that and didn't get caught? All right, let's go ahead and go to the overhead or the front. Okay. Let me see if there's any questions.
There was one.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
Sure.
Okay. This one comes from Claire Mifflin Fanning.
Okay.
She says, is
Claire.
a fusible stabilizer a good substitute for the fusible backing, or are they the same thing?
That's a good question. I guess it would depend on which fusible stabilizer you have. Most of them are going to be too thick. So that's why, of course, we recommend the Kimberbell fusible backing, is because we tested all kinds of thicknesses of what would still be soft and supple, what would still be pliable, not pliable, what would still give this a soft flexibility. What's the word I'm looking for? It's supple. That's the word I'm looking for. A more supple feel to the fabric. Okay. So in this case, the weave in the fusible, I don't have it here. Do I? Oh, I do have it right here. Okay, the weave in this fusible backing is going to be awesome and just perfect for machine embroidery, and also the thickness is going to be just right as well. So I wouldn't just use any type of interfacing. All right, there we go. The fusible backing. Great question. Okay. All right, so now we've got our outline. Do you see that? Right here. That's really odd to see, right? There we go. Now I can take my, for that gal who was new, can't remember your name now, but she asked about that, said that this was her first time with applique. This is what you're going to do, my friend. This is now your outline for your boot. You place this oversized piece of fabric on top, just so you make sure it covers the whole area. You want to tape it just in a couple places, just so that that fabric doesn't shift when you go to place it back on your machine. And now it's going to do what we call a tops or a tack down stitch, which is going to do the outline of the boot again.
And our new girl, her name was Dana.
Dana. Okay, I'll never forget that now. Dana. Yeah, Janice says, never ever forget the topper. Ask me what a nightmare that can be. Oh, I know, Janice. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it, when the foot gets caught on something like that. We don't want that to happen. So it definitely helps. All right, so we now have a boot that's ready to be trimmed. Let's go ahead and go overhead. There we go. All right, so Dana, my friend, my newbie friend here, we are going to trim all of this extra fabric that goes beyond that stitch line. Okay, so I'm just going to use our duckbill scissors to do that. If you are new to applique, what my suggestion is to place the duckbill portion towards the center of your applique. That's going to help protect those stitches as you cut, and it's going to give you a really nice clean cut. Up close, but not cutting through the stitches. Okay, now when you go across the top, be really careful that you don't cut your cording. You don't want to do that. And actually that topping will help prevent that as well. Okay. All right, we're almost done. Okay, so now that that has been cut, I'm going to stitch my boot satin outline. And just for kicks and giggles, guys, I'm going to keep it red. Whoa. This is going to be some funky looking block, but why not, right? I'm just going to, again, keep it red so that you can better see what's going on. And then it'll do the sole, which is more of a dark gray, and then we'll do the buckle. But I've actually already done this. So while that's stitching out in red, we're going to go to this one so I can show you how to do that boot buckle. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to let that stitch for just a minute while I answer any other questions you may have. Yes, Julie, let's see. Couldn't you use Kimberbell tape instead of topper? You know what, you probably could. I'm not sure why our testers, they must have felt that one was better than the other, but certainly when I think about it and look at it, I go, yeah, that probably could. My guess is maybe because it's cording, they wouldn't want the tape to like unravel at all, but it's not a really sticky tape, so I don't know. Give it a try. I think that would be fine. But again, our testing team, they're awesome. And by the time we get these books, they've done all sorts of testing that makes it like, oh, I don't have to worry about it. If I just follow what they say, I'm gonna be okay. So that's kind of nice. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this right now because I'm not going to use this boot anyway. But I want to show you what ends up happening here. Okay, so what starts to happen is wherever it's going to do your satin outline, it does what it does this stitch. There's a name for that too, and I can't think of it.
Zigzag?
A zigzag stitch. Yeah, there's. It's more technical than that, Andrew. A back and forth zigzag stitch. Anyway, it does this stitch underlay. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. It does an underlay stitch. You totally knew that, Andrew, didn't you? Yeah, of course. Does an underlay stitch, which is going to help tack down all those little threads, and then it goes back and does the final satin outline. Yeah, Fassy says underlay stitch. Yep, that's the word. All right, so I'm going to put this aside because, like I said, I'm going to redo that at home to match this one. And here we are. We are at the point where my topping is still there, so I haven't removed that yet. But we're going to do step 7. Yes, step 7, and it says it's the buckle strap placement line. Well, if I didn't do step 7, I wouldn't know where this buckle goes, right? So that's why it's important right now to do this one. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I think I can do this one in red because my buckle strap is gonna cover it. So I'll keep it to red. But I'm also going to have to, I just thought of this. I'm going to have to find my other boot. So ask me questions while I find my other boot because, yeah. Let me hurry up and find this. Any questions? Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
All right, I've got one here for you from Patty M. Go. That's kind of a cool name. I don't know if that was like an acronym or their quilt shop or something, but
awesome.
She says, I'll pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Would Kimberbell regular vinyl work in place of iron-on since I don't have iron-on available?
Yes, I think it would, but it's not going to adhere to your fabric, so it's going to be a little bit thicker. You may also have some issues with the needle puncturing that vinyl when it's doing a satin stitch. That's usually when we do our vinyl, we just do like a top stitch. But you may want to try out a little sample and see if that would work for you. That's a great question. With a satin stitch, it's going to do so many stitches on top of that vinyl, you just don't want it to puncture it too bad. But you might be okay. That's a great question.
Okay, here's a fun little anecdote from Christy.
Okay.
I'm trying to pronounce her name right. Kiekentveld?
Okay.
Kiekentveld.
Oh, I know Christy, yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of funny. She says, accidentally used hospital paper tape instead of Kimberbell tape. Won't do that again.
Oh.
Ruined what I had taped.
Oh, shoot.
Not sure how that got into my embroidery supplies. I now know to look for Kimberbell on the inside of my tape.
Oh, good.
I think I have an idea how it got there.
Maybe a needle through a finger.
I'm just saying it, or a husband. Because I'd probably do that same thing to my wife as well.
Put something where it doesn't belong.
Well, yeah. I put it away.
You put it away, dear. Oh, thanks, Chrissy, for sharing that. I mean, I'm sorry your project didn't turn out great, but the paper tape really does help for sure. Okay, so we are on step 12 here. Well, machine step 12. But in your book, we're on page 54 and we're on instruction step number 7. Okay. It's going to stitch a little X and a little square. All right.
So we have another newbie on here as well.
Oh.
We're gonna.
Okay, so Dana was one. Who's the other one?
This new one, her name is Kathy Cunnington Baker.
Hi, Kathy.
And she says, I'm a newbie and your videos are helping so much. Your team who writes the instructions are so good. Hashtag love Kimberbell.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. That is so nice of you to say. I hope our team is watching this right now. And if they're not, I will pass that along to them. That they work so hard. That will mean the world to them. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so it now stitched a square and an X. All right. The square is where the square of your little bootstrap is going to be placed on top of. Okay, so this is my little square side. This is more of the pointy arrow side. That square, let's make sure here, yep, is placed on top of this one. Of course, it's going to be the opposite direction if you're doing the other boot. All right, so I'm going to just place that on top, and then I will take a piece of tape and just tape that down so that it stays put, because the next step on my machine is going to do what we call a buckle strap tack down rivet. All right, let's try it out. I've already switched my thread to brown or a light tan. I'm not going to do red on this one because I do want to use this one in my final quote. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, that's so stinking cute, you guys. All right. It's the little things in life, you guys, like a little boot buckle. Are you kidding me? And then the X is like, you just know that that's the direction it's going in. That's where you want to cover it eventually. All right. Okay, the last step, and then we'll talk about that cute little buckle here in a minute. But the last step is going to do what they call block trimming guidelines. Now, the reason why we did this on this block is because the boot sits down a little bit, right? But it's got the strap on top. And so we just want to do some guidelines to help us with cutting this block down to size. So let's go ahead and do that. And go from there.
Okay, so we have another question for you.
Okay.
So this is Terry Ann Barone Murray. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't have as good of, I'm not as good with names as you are, Kim. But Terry Ann wants to know, do you sell iron-on vinyl separately? I would like to use it for the boots on the April bench pillow.
Oh, That's a good question. And the answer is we do not. We do not. But it is something that can be picked up at fabric stores, usually on the roll or by the bolt as an iron-on vinyl. We do sell a 12-gauge vinyl, but it's different than this iron-on vinyl. Great question. Okay, you know what, Andrew? I should have changed back to red because now I'm not seeing my lines very well. Oh, well, that's okay. All right, so what happened was, let's go ahead, go overhead. There was some lines that stitched right here and then one that stitched right here. So that's going to help us, you know, if I were to do this again, I'd probably do it in a thread color that I can see it a lot better because it's going to make it a lot easier to trim up with my orange pop ruler. All right, it also does one right here. So let's go ahead and pop this out of the hoop. Okay, and then I can remove, this is the time when I have to remove this topping. Okay, if there's any remaining, you probably won't have any remaining. I don't see any remaining there, but if there was, you could just squirt it with a little bit of water and it would go away because it is a wash away topper. Okay, you could also dissolve it for about 20 seconds in a bowl full of water, and that would certainly work as well. All right, so when I go to square this up, I'm actually going to take my 4.5 by 6.5 inch block ruler, and I'm going to look at those markings and make sure that that is where I want it to be cut. Now this is going to be, you know, you might think, well, why did you have to have those markings? Well, if I hadn't done it, if I hadn't done the background quilting yet, especially, I might think, oh, I'm going to center this, right? And you don't want your boots to be centered. They lay closer to the ground, not totally on the ground, but closer to the ground. Let's look at this example here. Okay, notice they don't go completely to the edge, but they do go down a little bit further. All right, so if the thing I love about orange pop rulers is that you can visually see where you cut before you cut it. And because it has this open frame, I can lay this on here and it's not going to, you know, rest on top of something that's dimensional. That's another plus because it's got the open frame and it allows it all to lay flat. So now, again, I can visually see where I want that to go. And those little outline marks also help out. All right, so there you have it. Just awesome, right? I might as well, let's see, do I have a rotary cutter here? Maybe I'll show you how this is done. How many of you have orange pop rulers or have wondered about them? Or maybe you have them but haven't used them or haven't had a good experience because you don't know the tips that I'm about to share. I'm going to share some little tips that'll make orange pop rulers such a breeze for you. Okay, so this particular set, there's a square set and a rectangle set. And this one says that I am cutting my block to 4.5 by 6.5 inches. Now we have all different sizes of orange pop rulers. You can get them in a square set, which are these three, and it also includes two half square triangle rulers in that one. And then you can get more of a rectangle set like this. That's what I'm going to use, okay? Now, the rectangle, the one I'm going to use is the 4.5 by 6.5, so it's the smallest one here. And again, I'm just going to place it on top. The nice thing is, I can visually see. If I didn't have those little marks, I could see exactly where I want to cut it, right? So, a few key things that will make a world of difference with using orange pop rulers, a world of difference, is one, have a rotating mat. Please have a rotating mat. It will truly make a difference, okay? Notice that you've got these corner channels here, extended corner channels. So that means I can put my rotary blade, just a regular 45 millimeter will do. I can put that into the corner channel and cut up along the side. All right. Now, if you, let's go to the front camera. Can you see it this way? If I'm on the right, I don't see what direction they're looking at. Maybe we'll go back down here. Since I'm a right-handed person, this is where another place where sometimes people get confused. Look at my blade, right? Ooh, be careful, Kim. Here's my blade. I want that blade butting up to the inside of where I'm cutting. So because I'm a right-handed person, I'm going to start over here to the left so that my blade is butting up right up against that inner square, right? If I am a left-handed person, you can do this too. You just, of course, you're using your left hand now, and that blade is going to be butting up against the right side, right? Right up against there. All right, so that's another key factor. Okay, another thing I like to do, if I'm starting with, like, for example, this is going to be the 4.5 by 6.5 inch block. I could take the other rulers because they just pop one inside the other and place that on top. Okay, well, on top, meaning that now I have more of a area for my hand to hold on to, right? I could even go up another size if I wanted. I don't have to, but why not? If I can, then I'm going to place that there, and look how much more surface area I have to hold on to. You don't have to do that. You could certainly do it with just the single ruler, but boy, people have loved just that tip alone of just adding more rulers to your base. All right, so there's another idea. All right. Look at this, just because I want to show you how cool this is. If I wanted my block to be this size, which is a 6.5 by 8.5 inch size, it's all engraved on there, by the way, too. Oh, I put that upside down. There we go. If I wanted to use that size, I could still start with a smaller one, place that down, then place the size I want to cut, but then I take this out, and now I can cut, it's all still centered, but now I'm cutting the larger size. Okay, so there you have it. All right, now the other tip I'm going to tell you, well, let me back up. If you do not feel comfortable cutting with these and you want to just have them to practice with and to square up your blocks really quickly and easily, what you could do is take a pin, like a writing pin, a water-soluble pin, marking pin, and just now trace the inside, then remove your rulers, and then cut it that way. All right, so this is just a way for you to visually see what you're cutting before you cut it, which is awesome. We use these orange pop rulers on all of our Kimberbell projects, but you can use them for fussy cutting. You can use them for like t-shirt and denim quilts. Like if you've got a t-shirt quilt and you want to have that centered right in the middle and can visually see where you're cutting it before you do, that's a pretty awesome way to use it. People have used it for so many things beyond just the Kimberbell project. All right, so the next tip I'm going to give you is to stand up. Yep, I'm standing up, folks. There we go. I'm standing up because that's going to give me more pressure on that rotary blade, all right? And I'm going to place it inside the corner channel and then cut. So again, because I'm a right-handed person, I'm going to cut towards the left. My blade is butting up right next to the inside edge where I want to cut. All right, so here we go. Are you ready? Woo! Pressure. See how nice it is to have the rotating mat? It's awesome. I never have to touch this block with my hands and try to shift it. There you go. It's the exact size I need. Exact. 4.5 by 6.5 in this case. The exact size I need for my quilt. Can you do themes without, orange pop rollers? Of course. My goodness, I could cut fabric without a rotary blade, but why? You got a rotary blade, use it, right? That's what tools are for, is to make life a little more fun, a little easier, if you will. And so, I could be cutting all day long with scissors, or I could get out a rotary blade. Same thing. You can use a regular ruler to cut these things out, but if you've got orange pop rulers, you can visually see it before you cut, which is really nice for centering your blocks, especially applique blocks, because the process of stitching those designs pulls in your fabric. And so that's why we always oversize our fabric first and then cut it down with orange pop rulers. All right. Okay. Any questions? Yeah. Lisa says, think smarter, not harder. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We use these on a daily basis. And I promise you, if you have any trouble with them, just practice with some scrap fabric. Just practice doing fussy cutting. Take a big piece of floral fabric and then put this over an area that you want to fussy cut and practice with that. It really does make a difference. And we've got lots of online tutorials too. All right. Okay. MJ says, when do you put the buckle on? It's a great question. You'll put it on at the end. You don't want to put it on now. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. If you did your background quilting already, then I would say it's okay to put it on now. What you wouldn't want to do is actually put it on now and then send it to get quilted, because no long armer out there is going to appreciate a little buckle, right, on top of your boot. My suggestion would be to wait till the very end. It explains that at the very end of the instructions, when to add your embellishments. I believe we're on page 71 is when it talks about the embellishments. And so now I would use this boot buckle, say this was all done, my whole quilt is sewn together. I'm then just going to put it through the boot buckle. Oh my gosh. Oh, look! You guys, it just is so stinking cute. Wow. Doesn't that just add a little something, something? Look at these other boots. Okay, let's take a closer look here. Look at the other boots here. So this is the two boots here that we did today, right? There's your little boot buckle. Okay. Then the boots next to it. Look at that. The writing is so darling. It says spring showers. Oh my gosh. With flowers coming out of those boots and the cute little birdie. And then you've got these polka dot boots with more flowers coming out that have been stitched. And then the other part of your cording is there. Again, this week I want you to focus on those boots and the umbrellas. Same concept, same technique of doing the iron-on vinyl. If you don't have a hoop size, just as a reminder, if you don't have a hoop size that's large enough to do the background quilting, find one of our clear blue tiles quilting backgrounds and use the method that we just put up on YouTube. Let me give you the name of it again. And Andrew, maybe you can actually put the link, the crazy link he had. Take a screenshot of what Andrew's putting up right there. Take a screenshot and put that in, and you'll be able to find it that way. But the title of it is How to Embroider Blocks with Background Quilting When You Have a Small Hoop. Okay, so there you have it. You can use clear blue tiles for that. And then if you want to just have a review of how to do any background quilting with Kimberbell's background quilting files, using the block by block method, you can find that also on YouTube, or you can scan the QR code, which is found somewhere in here. Page 12. Okay, there's a funky little symbol there. Scan that with your phone and you're good to go. All right. Any last questions before we go? This week, I want you to do the umbrellas, the rain boots, and if you get totally crazy and you're just on fire and so excited, go ahead and do some more of those applique blocks, like the birdhouses and the mushrooms, even the beehive. Just go for it. Oh my gosh, the little red wagon. Oh, so cute. Let's take a look at what's coming up for week 3 next week, Wednesday. Next week. What does it say there, Andrew? Is that the piecing?
Well, I'm trying to read too. Let's see. Week 3, March 16th, piecing and quilting in the hoop, the log cabin blocks.
Oh my goodness. I think, I used to just think applique was the bee's knees, and I still do. Let's go ahead and go to the front. I love it. But when you piece a quilt block on the embroidery machine, whew, whole new world. I'm excited to share that with you next Wednesday. So join me for the lunch hour so long next week at noon. And then again, every Wednesday in March. Of course, if you missed any portion of this, you can always go back and watch it on Facebook and YouTube. And when you're there at YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know. Is it a thumbs up? What is it over there, Andrew? I don't know either, but if it's a thumbs up, if it's a heart, something over there on the YouTube, go to the Kimberbell channel, and then it'll be really easy to of course, never miss one of these so-longs or What's New Wednesdays or anything like that. Any new stuff that's coming out, we have all kinds of videos on there on all kinds of products and events, and you name it, it's all there. Like and subscribe when you're there. All right. Thank you for joining me today, everyone, for this lunch hour so long. I will see you next week, next Wednesday for What's New Wednesday. That's at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, live from my sewing room. And I have a lot to show you. I'm so excited. So that's next week, 10 a.m. And then again at noon for this part 3 of the lunch hour so long. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.